One moment, she is a goddess. Next, she is nothing more than a prisoner forced to trade her body for freedom. She is a woman who has spent her entire life cheating and scamming the rich, relying on her unmatched beauty and flawless acting skills. She lives by deceiving others, convinced that she can never be deceived in return. But one day, she is betrayed by a gang she trusts and captured by the government police. All that remains of her is a shadow of who she once was, the woman staring back from the mirror, trapped in pain and humiliation. And then, her life grows even darker when a certain man enters it. Her name is Han Lirayang. She survives by relying solely on her face, and she is willing to deceive any man, young or old, to strip him of his wealth. You could easily call her a swindler. Last night was an especially important one for her, as she successfully seduced the second son of a noble family and walked away with a fortune. She convinced him to bring along his valuables, making him believe they would run away together and buy a house filled with servants. Dreaming of a comfortable life devoted only to their love, he brings more than enough riches. He even promises to take responsibility for everything from then on, until, along the way, he suddenly clutches his stomach in pain. So he turns back to relieve himself, but once again, she deceives him into leaving his luggage behind, a mistake he will come to regret. The moment he walks away, she quickly takes the luggage and heads home, successfully scamming him. When she arrives, she meets her partners and shows them the valuables she has taken. They ask if she is sure no one will be able to trace her, but she reassures them that she poured plenty of stomachache medicine into his drink, and by now, he should still be burning with pain. When they ask how much longer she plans to continue, she replies that she will probably do this just one more time before quitting. Before going to bed, she gives one of them, Kyung-ok, a gift, the gold ring she stole from the nobleman. She even promises that once they buy a house, Kyung-ok can use it for her wedding. Moments later, she leaves them behind and heads inside first. Before drifting off to sleep, she cannot help but think about the man she has just scammed. He is probably searching for her until dawn, unaware that he has been deceived. She even blames him for trusting her so easily and being so foolish, firmly believing that she would never be fooled in the same way. Little does she know what awaits her. The next day, before she can even understand what is happening, she is arrested by the nobleman. By the time she realizes that her companions have betrayed her, she is already thrown into prison for deceiving a nobleman and committing fraud. Her sentence is 40 strikes of the cane, 10 years in prison, and execution immediately after. At that moment, she also learns that it is one of her companions, Kyung-ok, who has denounced her. Tears immediately well up in her eyes as she begins to plead, insisting that the real culprits are the ones who kept the money and that she, too, was deceived. She screams at the top of her lungs, desperate and frantic, when a man approaches the prison, asking why she is being so noisy. Faced with his towering presence, she silently wonders if this is her chance. Without missing a beat, she slips into her act, crying and weaving a pitiful story about her arrest to earn his sympathy. As if that is not enough, she pulls him closer and whispers that she is willing to offer her entire body in exchange for her life, vowing to repay his mercy. After hearing her bluff, he starts to walk away, but she keeps begging him for mercy, piling lie upon lie onto her fabricated story. She then says that rather than die as a pitiful maiden, she wishes to offer her body to her savior, to serve him as his wife and live. Hearing this, he steps closer and asks if she is truly offering to become his wife. She immediately agrees, calling him dear husband. Just like that, he accepts the punishment in her place. My name is Mujirionji. Remember me, he says. Moments later, she is set free. She celebrates her freedom and swears to hunt down her former companions and reclaim her money. In the middle of her vows, her new husband suddenly lifts her off the ground, catching her completely off guard. He suggests they begin their journey before sunset, warning her that the road ahead is long. Much later, when they finally arrive home, she sneaks a glance at him while he bathes. Thoughts swirl through her mind, and for a brief moment, she feels a flicker of pity, but she quickly dismisses it as none of her concern. After discovering his stash of coins, she still plans to have him sell the remaining hides for more money and then run away with everything. Her plan is simple: stay only a few days. After all, The men she has deceived and stripped of their wealth are likely grinding their teeth, waiting for the perfect chance to take revenge. Just then, Mujirionji enters the room again, freshly washed and clean. He calmly says, "It seems we are fated after all." Lee Ryong gasps in surprise, but he explains that he has been saving his wealth for marriage. However, no maiden ever agrees to be with him, so he remains alone. He never expected that, in his 40s, he would find such a beautiful bride. He begins to make advances toward her, and she hurriedly tries to persuade him not to do anything that night. Before she can finish speaking, he suddenly leans in and kisses her. From that moment on, things quickly escalate between them. The next morning, Lee Ryong wakes up tired and sore from the night before with her new husband. Stepping outside to find him, he tells her he's going into the city. "This early?" she asks, and he explains he wants to have some clothes made for her. Instantly, Lee Ryong realizes this is her chance, one she may never get again. She starts calculating how long he'll be gone and even thinks of sending him on extra errands to give herself enough time to escape. Just before leaving, Mujirionji kisses her and promises to return before sunset, but suddenly Lee Ryong feels a pang of sadness at his departure, despite the 500 niang waiting for her. Then, she clutches a piece of his cloth, as if trying to hold him back when he asks if she has something to say. But as the saying goes, once a monk tastes meat, he'll jump the temple wall every night, and now that she's felt a man, she can't fight her desire anymore. She invites him back into the room, telling him he can buy the clothes later, and they share another intimate moment. Later in the day, Mujirionji arrives home and finds his wife outside spreading sheets. He drops his bag at once and tells her he can take care of it himself, but she insists she only wants to enjoy the autumn sunshine. Before she can properly welcome him, he pulls her close and kisses her, saying he finished work early. On this day, Lee Ryong didn't even dare think of escaping. She didn't go anywhere near the gate. Even when she had the chance to run, she couldn't bring herself to do it, and it's not as though she lacks an excuse. One day, her legs ache so badly that she can't escape, and after that, her stomach hurts, making it impossible to run then either. But the real problem came after she spent the night with her husband. Her body won't stop trembling, and she couldn't escape at all. Later, after receiving the clothes he bought for her, she mentions that this is the first time she's ever been given clothes as a gift. As she puts on the new clothes, Mujirionji can't stop thinking about how she has lived all this time without even a proper set of underwear. Now that she finally has clothes, she begs him to take her along the next time he goes to town. The moment he hears this, he turns to her and lifts her dress, clearly hinting at another intimate moment.